Today's article focuses on force production and pitching. A study that involved the Tampa Bay Rays is what we'll focus on today. And what they found was high school athletes did not have a strong correlation between force they put into the ground or ground reaction force and ball speed, which is not what occurs in higher level pitchers and elite pitchers. People who put more force into the ground should be able to throw harder because the more force in their lower body, it then goes to the core, upper body, and to the arm. So what happens is these high school pitchers are not maximizing their ball speed and they're not maximizing their ground reaction force. So the study comments on that and they say, how do you improve that? The main way they said was training. And we know through other studies that training can have a huge impact on producing force. So if we quickly step back and look at a vertical jump as an example of force production, you see one is the loading part. It's the eccentric component. In a counter movement jump, it's when you squat down to load up. And two is the vertical push off. It's that now going from squatted down to jumping as high as you can, that impulse or propulsion. It's a lot shorter part of the curve. So we know through training, different exercises work on different parts of that force production and rate of force development. So if an athlete is slow to load and they can't generate that force in the eccentric phase, then we're going to work on different exercises than if they can't produce that quick force or the vertical concentric impulse. So different areas are trained with different exercises. So one thing we know is the deadlift is very good at requiring a lot of force to be put into the ground over a somewhat longer period of time. So a concentric force improvement would occur through the deadlift. That's the second part of that curve. Whereas a squat or a split squat, which requires a little longer loading, would improve the eccentric part of that curve. It would improve part one. So the loading of a pitch or the windup or hitting would be more targeted by a split squat, that rate of force production, whereas the deadlift would be more the concentric impulse or the average concentric forces. So the deadlift would work on that explosion. It wouldn't be the loading. The deadlift would be more the push, the propulsion part. So it's kind of in depth, kind of a concept that requires some deeper understanding and probably more time spent on it, which can happen in further videos, but I just wanted to introduce those concepts today. So again, high school pitchers are not maximizing their ground reaction forces, and that can be significantly improved through training. Hope you appreciate that, and then we'll talk more about those concepts tomorrow.